Long ago, I had this ex who had done a lot of work on himself. He had done therapy and self-help and men's dating advice. And he mentioned a book to me that he had found particularly powerful. It was No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. And he said this book had taught him that he had only been nice to people in order to get their approval. And he had never realized that being nice for him was actually manipulative. He hadn't realized how much he had gotten to this habit of apologizing for everything. He had made a decision to stop saying sorry, and he felt he was a better man because of it. Now, I remember smiling and being encouraging. And that book's title didn't even register in my mind because at the time, women were reading books like Why Men Love Bitches. So, shouldn't men learn not to be doormats too? Oh, the naivety of youth. So, surprise, as you can probably imagine, that ex did in fact turn out not to be a nice guy. That book had removed any guilt he had ever felt about treating people poorly. With no more Mr. Nice Guy on his side, he felt wholly justified in being a jerk to people. Now, today, some men, not all men, some men don't feel they have to be nice anymore. Romance, they think, is just a charade. It's a calculated attempt to get on a woman's good side. Because real men do what they like, they say what they want, they put themselves first, and being a nice guy is just for suckers. So recently, I saw a copy of No More Mr. Nice Guy, and I decided to see what it said for myself. And what I found made me so sad. In this video, you will find out the story behind nice guy syndrome and why I recommend you run from a guy who believes in it. Hey, I'm Amy, and you're watching Your Brilliance TV. So if you talk to a man today, chances are he has heard of nice guy syndrome. No guy today wants to be known as a nice guy because being nice is synonymous these days with being weak and unattractive to women. But what many guys don't realize is that this idea dates back to the 2002 book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And in this book, Robert Glover claims that men are trained to be nice guys from childhood, and it's actually hurting them. They're becoming doormats and they're getting trampled on by women. This idea appeals to a lot of men, particularly men who feel like women have the upper hand in relationships. And they like the idea that they have the right, indeed, the obligation, to stand up to women and keep women from bossing them around. So, what is Glover's argument? How does he turn niceness from a virtue into an insult? Well, his explanation starts out in childhood. When we're kids, he explains, certain parts of us, our naughtiness, our disruptiveness, our brashness, get discouraged, while other parts of us, our obedience, our sweetness, our helpfulness get encouraged. And we're kids, so we want to please the adults. And so we hide or suppress the parts of ourselves they don't like, and we work on expressing more of the qualities they do like. And this process creates what Glover calls nice guys, guys who try to earn the approval of others through socially approved behaviors. Okay, so let's pause here. You and I can both totally agree. It is not healthy to be a people pleaser and to be nice just to win the approval of others. And what you and I also know is that women suffer from this more than anyone. We experience much, much more pressure than boys to be kind and good. But there's a mystery because Glover deliberately ignores all of us women. It turns out this is only a problem when it happens to boys. It is unfair to make boys be nice, but it's totally okay to do it to girls. And Glover misses another really important point that all of us parents know. Teaching kids to be nice is not a bad thing. It's actually part of socialization. It discourages antisocial behavior and it turns us into friendly people who can work well with others. As a parent, it horrifies me to imagine what would be lost if we stopped expecting kids to learn to be nice. We don't want any kids biting and hitting and saying rude words. It's good that they learn to curb those impulses, no matter how authentic Glover may think they are. It is good that girls and boys are taught to think of others because the instinct to please people is part of loving. So being nice is a virtue, and the world would be such a better place if we were all genuinely nice people. But that is not Glover's conclusion. Instead, what he wants is he wants us to see niceness as just an act. He wants to encourage men to be more self-centered, to care less about what others think, and to not worry so much about the impact of their actions on others. In other words, explicitly or implicitly, he's giving men permission to act like a jerk. And this is why the manosphere loves Glover. He gives them an excuse to treat women badly. Now, as someone who has seen a former partner go through this process of stamping out his nice guy tendencies, I can give you my verdict. Abandoning niceness does not make a man more emotionally healthy or attractive. It makes him more selfish and immature. A man who describes himself as a recovering nice guy will choose himself over you in 1,001 different ways. So my advice, I would run from any man who resents having to be nice to people. Instead, I'd encourage you to find a man who has a moral code and who does what's right even when it's hard. Not a man who's just pretending to be nice. So that was Glover's mistake. The problem is with the pretense, not with being nice to people. And here's why I know this. Turns out there is a simple yet powerful formula for the love of a lifetime. And any couple who's made it 50 years or more is going to recognize this. And ironically, it was actually men who taught me this formula. Men in happy long-term relationships believe that this is the reason for their success. Want to know what it is? The simplest formula for a wonderful love is this: two good people doing nice things for each other. So when you're a good person and your partner is a good person, and you both enjoy doing nice things for the other, you have got the golden ticket. You've got a lifetime of happiness together. But when your partner is not a nice person a lot of the time, or when only one of you tries to do nice things, you have signed up for struggle, and it's going to be hard. It's going to feel like you're putting so much in and getting not much back. And if you are in that situation, don't listen to Glover. The answer is not to stop being nice. The answer is to expect more kindness, because being kind to each other is the best way to make a relationship work, and it requires a commitment from both of you. I think that's why it horrifies me so much that a book like No More Mr. Nice Guy could gain so much traction among men. I believe it's actually dooming relationships. So let's stand against it, shall we? Let's stop using nice as an insult, and let's recognize the strength it takes for a man, especially in today's climate, to stand for kindness. Any immature man can stand for himself and say what he thinks, but it takes an emotionally mature man to stand for his family and to model appropriate behavior. Nice is not weak. Nice today is actually the hardest thing in the room. And it's the only thing that builds a love worth keeping. If you agree, then I urge you to subscribe to my channel And then hop on over to yourbrilliance.com to get on my newsletter list. I talk about all things love with my community of brilliant babes every week, and it's where you will get the latest and best of my advice. Take really good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.